Sadness. What an emotion sadness is. Nobody wants to experience it, but everybody does. It's like you can't run away from it. It's your shadow. There's no way to get rid of the emotion of sadness. Of course, you can overcome it, but sooner or later, you're always going to feel it again. And it's interesting because sadness is portrayed as a villain, but in reality, it's the base of every beautiful thing we experience. And I'll tell you what I mean. You know the saying, there is no light without dark, there is no sunshine without rain. And that's entirely true. There is nothing without the opposite. And so imagine we were always happy. If we were always happy humanly, how would we ever know we were happy? Because if that's the baseline, then there is no happiness. It just is. Sadness gives us the ability to understand the depth of the void. And when I say the void, it means that sadness basically is telling you that you're void of something, that you're missing something, and that is why you are experiencing sadness. So, for example, you are having troubles in your relationship and you're sad. Well, if you weren't sad, then perhaps you don't really care about your relationship. If you're sad, it means that you're void of something, and it means that that is important to you. And so, what a blessing sadness is, because you know that something is important to you. Like, for example, if you truly love a person, you are basically giving them a knife and you're telling them, hey, whenever you want or whenever you choose, you can decide to stab this in my back and I have no power over it. That is love. It's vulnerability at the highest measure. It's true love. And so, if they do it, then you accept the risks. You accept that they did it and you feel extreme sadness. But you know it was all worth it, because if not, you would have never gotten a chance to experience sadness. And so as young men, we always run away from sadness. We always do. Because we're told that it's bad, or we're told that being sad is not good for you, mental health, blah, 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 depression. When in reality, sadness contains many, many lessons. I believe sadness gives you wisdom. And the more wisdom you have, the more depth of sadness you can feel. Because the more wisdom you have, the more understanding you have of what you're missing. So, for example, you will never see a dumb person. I don't say this as an insult, I say this as just like a dumb person. You will rarely see them sad. They're usually happy. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's because they can't understand the gap between where they are and where they'd like to be, or what's missing. Because to them, nothing is missing. And that's a blessing in itself, by the way. But then you'll see very, very wise people who are extremely sad. And it's because they understand the depths of reality and what is missing, what they would like versus what is. And they can acknowledge it, they can interact with it. And it's a powerful component of being a human. It's a powerful component of being wise, but it's also a scary one. And so you come to a point where it's like, for example, in relationships, do I become oblivious and naive to everything in order to protect myself and use it as a protective mechanism? Or do I confront the elephant in the room and understand what is happening in my relationship, which is going to cause me a ton of sadness, but I know it's the right thing to do and I know what I know, so I have to confront it. And so some men pick one and some men pick the other, but wisdom comes with the sacrifice, and wisdom comes with a heavy burden, and that burden to me is sadness. And these past few months, I've been learning a lot, especially for being 18. I've been becoming wise for an 18-year-old, and I can say that with pure confidence. And coincidentally, it's the months that I've been most sad. I experience sadness for no fucking reason at all, and I have my own mechanisms to run away from it. But when I come back to it and I sit with it for a while, I realize that it was never the enemy. It was always my friend, because it was trying to show me something, and it was just a cry for help. Because there's these different parts of you and they all need to be attended to. They all have their needs. And sadness is a part of you the same way that happiness is. And there is no one without the other. So when I start interacting with this sadness and I start being able to sit with it, I hear its whispers, and I hear it giving me lessons. And so the last video I made, which you'll see when it comes out, This Too Shall Pass, is a very sad video. And while I'm recording it, I'm experiencing a ton of sadness. But if you connect with that video, and if you're connecting with this video, you're connecting with my sadness. And that's something beautiful, because over a screen, like, we don't even know each other. And yet we're still connecting somehow. You're still resonating with what I'm saying. I'm still sparking some sort of emotion in you, because there is something that we all have in common. Humanity has in common, and that is that we all share sadness. And so if you want to experience happiness, if you want to be a wise man, if you want to be a capable man, you must get used to not running away from these negative emotions, because they were never negative to begin with. Change your paradigm around them. They're just emotions. Marcus Aurelius said something that I liked a lot. I'm actually reading this book called Meditations. He said, humans tend to portray something as good or evil. And so he believed that there was good and evil in the world. But the big difference is this. Let's say that you or a loved one gets cancer. You might say, that's evil. He has cancer. Cancer is evil. And sure, of course, you're allowed to think that, because it is a very sad and excruciating experience for a loved one to die or to be sick. But in reality, nothing that happens to both good men and bad men is evil. It just is. It's just nature. It's natural. And so sadness, a lot of people portray as evil. But really, is it evil? Because there is bad men who have suffered from extreme sadness, and there is good men who have suffered from extreme sadness. And for example, probably one of the recorded best men in history, and believe in him or not, you have to admit it from an objective and historical point of view, is Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ experienced a tremendous amount of sadness. On the cross, he literally said, "Father, why have you abandoned me?" So you can truly understand the depth of despair that he was in. And there's the like bad men who have experienced a ton of sadness. I mean, serial killers, whatnot. So it's not evil. It's a component and it's a part of you, and you have to accept it and love it and interact with it. And if you learn how to do this, then I promise you, you will become more wise. And if that is truly what you seek, then you will achieve it. If you want to become more wise, if you want to be able to speak with me more directly and talk about this and really understand the depths of what I'm saying, I invite you to join my free community. It's called The Expansion. It should be down below. It's a Discord community. And really the point of this is for you to be able to come to me with your struggles, with your questions, or with your aspirations. And for me to be able to guide you to the best of my capability so you can gain some clarity and achieve this. So it's a free way to talk to me. If that sounds like it would get you closer to your goals rather than farther, then link is down below. Can't wait to see you inside. Send me a message.